I don't know. I'm not calling other people muggles and, us wizards, but I'm just saying there's a similarity in the way it feels to me where
Yes,
magic is happening, what we're doing,
yes,
and then the other reality of regularity or whatever, everyday life is just also happening. And I think that's kind of like what you were picking up on and maybe coming in not knowing if that was possible or how that would happen,
yeah,
and then being able to kind of be an anchor point for it.
yeah. It's pretty much a cosma in its purest form, like put into action, because we all have our everyday normal lives, right? Where we have the things we have to take care of and stuff. And we can also choose to experience that everyday life at a new level, at a new increment, at a new place. And that's what a cosmic quantum energy provides. It's an availability. And if you are ready, it is ready for you. And
Mm.
so, just like you were saying with, so that young boy, I could just see he was fully self-expressed. He wasn't worried about, what people would think, with that. And I love that. But for those people walking by who could feel the energy, who could feel that love, who could feel that expansion, then they can pick up on it. It's not
Mhm.
good or bad if you do or don't, but if you are ready, that is a cosma. You take your everyday life and you just leapfrog to a completely different experience.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ah, I love it. I'm so excited. Thank you for finding a space. Thank you for finding a space. Oh my goodness. I was looking forward to this space. I was so grateful for it.
So much to talk about, I feel like. So
And
much.
we've had so many conversations on so many topics and spaces of us. And I was getting ready to come onto the call and I was like going back over the notes a little bit, just trying to think, when did we initiate the call? Was it for a specific point? And I'm like, there's so many spaces. Like, I can't pick one.
I almost emailed you and I thought she's going to think I'm such a flake. If I'm like, listen, I've got like 12 bullet points right now.
Okay, first off, thank you for agreeing to be the leader. That's pretty
Yes,
big.
my
Yeah.
honor. Thank
So
you.
we're so grateful, and you've been so helpful in putting together so many of the spaces that the campers will enjoy. I know so much. So thank you for the time and effort you've put in. It made it a lot easier for me to be able to pull the space off and present it in a really beautiful way. So thank you. Thank you for your
Good.
contribution. Is there any space of summer camp you're most excited about or like, stands out the most?
No, I think it's just the camp as a whole, the opportunity to combine a cosmic quantum energy with our inner child.
Mm,
And what a delightful sort of blend between the two.
yeah.
So we're always talking about being ourselves with more joy and more love and more creativity. And to me, this is a brilliant way to do it. And nobody has to leave their house, right? So we're not traveling to Lake whatever and leaving our family and responsibilities behind. But I mean, you have literally taken the best of summer camp, and that's
Mhm.
singing and camaraderie and arts and crafts and movement and all of these things and learning and growing. And you packaged it together. So I don't know. I feel as excited as if I was going to summer camp in the 80s. So awesome.
Yeah, and that's cool because that's our theme, right? That's our
Right,
theme for this year is 80s. And
right.
funny enough, like I thought about it when I first had the idea to do a summer camp for basically adult summer camp in a sense, but coming from this space of that inner child getting to come out and play. Um, it just naturally did was the 80s, but most likely because that was my childhood in a sense, right?
Right.
So it made sense that I would have that reference point. But it's such a fun reference point. Most people, whether their childhood was in that zone or not, they still can say, like, oh, but I do love the music, or I really like the movies, or whatever. It's just a really cool era. So it's fun that it got to be a reference point. And I think even doing that, like theming it that way, kind of also was a shout out to the inner child and to have some fun with it, you
Yes.
know? So yeah, I know I've had a lot of fun, even just with the preparations and the
Oh
promotions
my,
and stuff.
the boom box.
Yes, the boom
Hello.
box.
The big hair. I can't. It's so good. When I saw the pictures of all the camp counselors the other day of their 80s picture, I mean, I was like, it's glorious. Like Kirsten's hair is spot on. Gregory's mullet is spot. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I think the 80s we connect with it. That that was our childhood. But I want to encourage everybody, what regardless of what their 80s experience was, or
Right.
what time in their life that was, whether you were born or not, I don't
Yeah. We
know,
have a lot
lean
that weren't
into
even
it.
here yet. You're right.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Kind of lean
Yeah.
into it with that new sort of new lens and that opportunity to discover and maybe redefine it. And even songs. You know how we have those songs from the age like, oh, just don't play that song. Like, oh my God, that song. Because we have like this whole memory thing that comes up. So what if you just listen to the song with different lenses and ears and
Yeah.
a filter?
Right.
So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, this is all about exploring ourselves from the inside out, maybe. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I really think we're kind of like we're resetting.
Yes.
Even if the 80s was amazing, we're still resetting it to be even more because we're in a different alignment as we're connecting in with it than when we did the first time. So it's going to be so much fun. I'm so grateful for all the contributions. We have camp counselors coming in so that no one has to carry this thing themselves and everybody can share their abilities and beauty with the space. So I think that's going to make it even like more unique in a way to be able to have these different beautiful people coming in that are giving of their time to be this space because it's free. It's free to
Mm-hmm.
anyone who wants to join us. So that's pretty cool too.
Okay.
There's no investment that has to be made monetarily. The only investment you'll be making is your time if you choose to join. And in response for that choice, you get to have some really have a lot of fun, and maybe even expand some thought processes and ways in which you navigate your life. So yeah, we start on July 12th. For anybody catching this video when it's released, we start on July 12th, and we end on August 30th. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a good that's the summer basically, a
Yes.
good piece of summer, and we're going to have so much fun together. Drumming workshop, writing workshop, crafts. We're going to make a friendship bracelet. Beautiful speakers coming in to talk about connecting with
Yes.
your angels or your light team, connecting with the understanding of living from joy, coming into the concept of the power of the mind. Just so many wonderful spaces. So, and all for free. The way that you sign up, we better make that known here. So, because we're going
Okay.
to get a lot of comments, is they go to my Patreon platform. And there's a link directly below this video. You hit the link, it takes you to my Patreon platform, and you just sign up for free. A free member,
Yes.
you're in. If you find that when you get over there, you go, oh, wow, this sounds good, and you like a different membership tier and you want to participate, it's a very user friendly platform. You can come and go as you
Mm-hmm.
please, upgrade, downgrade, whatever you want to do. But joining as a free member gets you into the summer camp. So all of the information for summer camp is going to be released on 7/7 and moving forward through summer. So you'll get all that access if you join the Patreon platform. So check that out. So let's move on to another space of us because we got so many. Okay, because I've
Yeah.
had so many people reach out about the video I shared on YouTube, where I shared two now, where we were in Destin and we
Yes.
did the destination event. Do you have anything you might share? People are saying to me, I didn't know people did ceremony anymore. Like we did
Mm,
ceremony with the drum and the circle and the elements and all. And some people said, wow, like we were bringing some space back. There's people doing ceremony, I know, on all, different cultures and all over the planet. But I get it that it may be not as common to see. I get that.
right.
Yeah. So, but we did a lot of things. We had classes and we had ceremony spaces and all. What's your biggest takeaway from that space and or anything you might be able to share with us?
So I remember before you had told us about some of the ceremony and things that would be happening in that public setting on the beach near the water. And I was a little bit hesitant because I'm like, how is this going to go? Are we going to attract a crowd? Like,
Yes.
are we going to be on somebody's YouTube? But it was so magical because even though there were so many people there on their vacation, visiting, doing their thing, they respected our space in such a beautiful way, but we also weren't hindered in any way to experience that ceremony or that moment or that
Yeah.
expansion or whatever. And so I just didn't see that coming. I mean, it wasn't in the destined plan of emissions, and so it was this glorious sort of uncovering, like, oh, it's just beautiful, and
Mm.
the love felt so. I feel so much love from my Acasma family, and most of the way I interact is on our Discord portals and pods, and so I've already felt that love, but I had no idea how like big it could be in person, like like indescribably beautiful and pure and big, until like you are standing and looking someone in the eyes where you have this shared, AQE understanding,
Mm.
and it's in this higher mind, higher heart. It's really beautiful. It's you can't explain it.
Mm.
I'll use the analogy that, when somebody's having their first child, there's a ton of books out there you can read, and everybody has advice like, oh, wait for this. But not until that first baby is in their arms
Mm.
and they are dealing with what comes with it can they really appreciate it and embody it. So similar. It's so big, it's so beautiful. So,
That's awesome. Yeah. And that was your first year at a destination event and your
yeah,
first time you just came into the space probably 6 months ago. Like you, I think more so present with the space, but actually maybe you've been
yes,
kind of connecting with content for about a year or something like that,
yes.
maybe.
Yeah,
Your take on being in public in a regular space and doing non-regular things, right? Really,
right.
that's what it is, right? It's not what you see every single day. So that kind of goes in with the way in which people were saying, wow, I didn't know people could do this. I didn't know it was,
Yes.
you could, and that's neat too, right? Like we're
Hmm.
actually embodying authenticity and we're embodying stepping out of fear and into our essence, which in
Hmm.
our essence, this is normal. But in
Yes.
the societal cultural structure, it's not seen as normal, maybe in all, most spaces. But I did get a little bit of feedback, interestingly enough, from my daughter was with us. She was there, right? So she was filming and she was kind of more in the background because she was
Yes.
filming and getting photographs and all. She told me there was a mom and a young boy. You may have seen him. I don't know. I didn't pick up on it, but they were kind of about 20 feet over from us. They were the closest ones to us. And we did purposefully get ourselves into the best area we could that was kind of
Yeah.
further away from everybody. So we were
Hmm.
trying to be respectful of everybody else as well. My daughter said that she noticed the young boy when I started drumming. He stood up and he looked and he was so excited and he wanted to come over there. Like he started to come over to us and his mother was like, "No, you should stay here. You can watch them, but you have to stay here." But isn't that beautiful in the sense that the child was ready to just jump in? They hadn't been
Just
taught
listening.
they hadn't been taught that that was odd or different
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
And so my daughter said that he watched the whole thing, like mesmerized by the whole
Mm,
thing. And who knows how ancient his little being is, right? Like he's in
right.
that format, but he's this ancient soul. And it was respectful of the mother as well. I get that because, she wanted to probably respect us as well as,
Yes.
in a sense, look out for her kid. But yeah, so that was interesting. I always find when we do the destination events and we do them at the beach and we do them in Sedona, which are both public areas, they're both very tourist driven areas. It never fails though. There's this change of vibe that happens as we start to do what we do. And when that change comes in, it's almost as if there's two spaces existing within one space, as in the everyday world and the tourists are passing by and doing their thing, but I don't even hear them. Like, I don't register them,
Hmm.
not in a disrespectful way. Of course, I am making choices that I'm mindful of others, but I mean, it's not causing me to not be able to be in the space I'm in. You know what I mean? It's like they're in their space and I'm in my space. We're in our space. And it's almost like, I know this seems silly maybe to some, but in the Harry Potter movies, when the muggles walk down the road and they can't go through the portals in the buildings or
Yes.
whatever it is.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not calling other people muggles and, us wizards, but I'm just saying there's a similarity in the way it feels to me where
Yes.
magic is happening, what we're doing.
Yes.
And then the other reality of regularity or whatever, everyday life is just also happening. And I think that's kind of like what you were picking up on and maybe coming in not knowing if that was possible or how that would happen,
Yeah.
and then being able to kind of be an anchor point for it.
Yeah. It's pretty much a cosma in its purest form, like put into action, because we all have our everyday normal lives, right? Where we have the things we have to take care of and stuff. And we can also choose to experience that everyday life at a new level, at a new increment, at a new place. And that's what a cosmic quantum energy provides. It's an availability. And if you are ready, it is ready for you. And
Mm.
so, just like you were saying with, so that young boy, I could just see he was fully self-expressed. He wasn't worried about, what people would think, with that. And I love that. But for those people walking by who could feel the energy, who could feel that love, who could feel that expansion, then they can pick up on it. It's not
Mhm.
good or bad if you do or don't, but if you are ready, that is a cosma. You take your everyday life and you just leapfrog to a completely different experience.
I love that. I love that. And a big space of the teachings is also how, when you enter into a cosma, the connection with the
Mhm.
teachings, the consciousness, the energies, the understanding, you're entering into more of you. That's the whole thing, right? And in doing so, you're no longer finding ourselves in the spaces of compartmentalizing, but we're allowing our
Mm.
authenticity in all areas of our lives. And so then, even going on a trip and meeting people and hanging out and doing whatever we're doing, whether you're eating dinner or holding a ceremony,
Right.
you're authentic. You're allowing
Mhm.
your wholeness in your now. So I love that. That's so powerful way to bring in the understanding. Okay, so you mentioned pods and grid. I love that you mentioned that earlier. Let's talk about those. So people listening to us, connecting with this information, they're like, Acasma, what? But they
Yes.
say, I like these ladies' energy. This is nice energy.
Yes.
And I like the content. This is nice content. It feels right. It resonates. So we have a community. We have a community. That's what Jamelin is speaking about. The Acasma family of light. We have a grid of light we've been doing since 2020. It's an actual walking, talking, breathing grid, if you will, as we be the light. And then we bless it once a month. We get together on Zoom. It's another free event, and it's an energetic sacred alignment session that's facilitated for everyone that's in the grid. We have a lot of visitors every month. Many find us on YouTube and do the video replay. We have people coming in internationally from all over the planet. It has grown in leaps and bounds, and this is the new human rising, as the new earth is as well. So our grid, if someone wants to join the grid, they can go to my website, sacredexpansion.com, link below the video. And there's a tab says grid, Grid, grid. Click it and it'll say join the grid. You'll also be able to find the last grid video and you can watch that, get familiar with what I'm talking about. But if you're hearing me and this resonates, most likely you're here to be light in this now to assist ascension process. Yes, it's always you first and foremost in your own journey and your own remembrance and your own best life now. But inevitably, then, when that alignment is allowed, it flows out to all and the collective, the earth, and beyond. And that's what we do in the Acasma family. And so the grid is a way in which we bless that alignment for the earth as well and for all humanity and all consciousness. And then we have these incredible chat spaces called Acasma Pods of Light. And they are run by beautiful Acasma leaders of light. And they are individuals that I have taught and that have a complete alignment with the teachings of Acasma quantum energy. And these are free spaces on the Discord server where you get to be uplifted, encouraged, enriched, inspired. It's a wonderful space of connection with the teachings of Acasma quantum energy. There's an energy session facilitated by the leader of light once a month as a gift for free for the group. And then they share their notes with the group. But there's a building of community with others who understand and resonate with this new human we're being that is extremely empowering and uplifting to the being as we are changing, shifting, and expanding. Now, you joined the pods. When did you come into the pods?
In July. So I'm almost
Oh,
at my one
you're
year
coming around to your
Acosmiversary.
1 year. Wow, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so you're in the Beacons of Love pod. We have two
Mhm.
pods, Beacons of Love, and we have the Sacred Joy. So your leader is Quantum Kate. She's
Yes.
fantastic. We'll give a shout out real quick to Sacred Joy and Kirsten. That's another fantastic pod, but Jamelyn happens to be in Beacons. So she's shouting out to her Beacons of Love, saying, hi, how are you? I'm here shining for us. Uh, so give us some understanding from the perspective of a pod member. What are these Cosmo Pods of Light about and what do they offer?
I first joined in July and I was a quiet observer and I was too nervous to say anything. And I just sort of watched what was exchanged. And then I'd maybe like throw in a comment here or throw in a comment there. And then I'd read their reactions to each other. And I'm like, these people are definitely like authentically good people who are totally lifting each other up and like they're looking for what's right in the situation. They're looking how to be a better version of themselves in this situation. It was like I, I I wanted to know more, like bring on the conversation. And so I started commenting. I don't even know how quickly into my pod experience I started commenting. And today the pods are a very important integral aspect of my life. So I don't do like typical social media. So I think that was part of like my hesitation with the familiarity of the platform. I'm like, I'm not really sure, but I have made friends. Well, not just made friends. I have remembered friends. I have remembered people from my Cosma family that um, I know would do anything to support me. And the way I can have a conversation with them about the stuff that's on my mind most. So let's say we just did a mindset check-in call with you. And you mentioned a few things and it's really like perking up and bubbling. I'm like, this really applies. I can actually say it to someone and it be received. And it's glorious because it's like applying everything that we learn. And
Mm.
there's not right or wrong way to do it. And there's not ever any sort of discouragement. It's nothing but positive. Seeing, finding what's right, seeing what's right, celebrating each other. It's delightful. It's delightful. So
I love that. I just said that the other day to somebody about how I felt like the pods were a powerful space to try out that your new human, to
yes,
say the new human things, to talk about the new human concepts, to be positive and uplifting, to acknowledge the wobbles and the spaces, but to do it from mastery, to do it from essence, um, and have that supportiveness around you of others that are in that same type of alignment. So I love that. I love your feedback. It's so powerful and it's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing it. And this is for the grid members. So then it helps support that grid, that grid of light that is supporting the planet in a sense. It's a way to nurture our beautiful grid members and say thank you to them for being anchors and pillars of light in the grid. I want to think about
one
what
thing
you
I do
said.
want to mention
Okay.
about the pods that I feel is so significant is as I am learning and implementing a cosmic quantum energy consciousness and trying to understand the availability in my now of how I utilize it, embody it, think it, feel it, all of those things. Sometimes I have some big moments, I'll call them big wins or something, where I can really take a step back and, as an outsider, acknowledge my growth and expansion and the way I reacted to someone or something or some experience. But the small wins, like the daily, every day, right? Increment, increment, increment of how I am applying it and implementing it. That's where in the pods, it might be the tiniest increment, but it gets celebrated because it is that important and it is that big to our overall expansion. And I love that. And I thought I would only like learn from others as they posted one of their experiences. But I find that me sharing an experience, I'm learning from myself as I either hear myself retell it or I'm typing it out to post. Like I'm an observer of myself then from that opportunity. So it's beyond just retelling of a situation. It's got these beautiful layers. Yes, it's lovely.
I love that. Yeah, the layers and the
Mhm.
observer of the self. We were just talking about that
Yeah.
today in the mindset check-in, and even the observer of the observer. So, yeah, we're expanding so rapidly. All of these terms are coming in for us to engage and embrace ourselves at these new levels. So, this is fantastic feedback. Now, you also got invited recently to be a part of something else that's coming up beginning of next year, 2026. Your emails are always a joy to read. You take me on the biggest amusement park ride I've ever been on, from the first word to the last word, including your PSs. And you have me laughing and smiling and shaking my head. And your emails are just a joy. You're a very good writer. I've told you this a million times.
Yes.
So I reread your last email when I had asked you, invited you to be a part of this space, and you were answering whether you would say yes or not. And even at the very end, I think it was, you said something like, so my final answer is yes, parentheses, I think. It's like, what are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me, man? So,
I love
um,
it.
I have to like clarify, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but whether wherever that it lands, you were asked to join the Acasma Expo team. So that's a pretty cool thing. And this is it was a group of about 8 or 9 people out of hundreds and hundreds of people. But it's a very specific group because we do a very specific thing, and we work in a specific manner. And so you were invited to be a part of that. And we're very grateful that you are 99.9 in.
Yes. Sorry.
I look
I'm
forward
in.
to that being like 100%, but
Yeah,
um,
it is.
it is? It is? Okay, so
Yes.
the I think
Oh
is
yeah,
just a
sorry.
joke? Is the I think
Oh
a
yeah.
joke?
I
Okay.
mean, I'm funny, right? I'm
You are
hilarious. I think I
hilarious.
am, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah.
You keep me laughing. You really do. And you're one of the, like, there's a few people that do make me laugh like that, but nobody to this extent. And you're the one I always have to read the emails to my husband because I'm like, you have to hear this. Somebody else has to hear this. It's too good. I would
Oh, I
love to
love
make a
that.
I would love to make a book one day. Emails of Jamelin. They're just the best.
And what's funny is I've written about him and I've never met him.
Oh, I know, I know. And you know what? If Sedona goes a certain way, maybe you'll be able to, or it'll be, LA, because he'll be in LA. So
Yeah.
yeah. So all of this is coming up. So this is all good. So thank you. I'm super excited through the moon. Los Angeles will be here before we know it. I know that seems weird because it's in February of 2026. But anybody catching this video, if you are a fan of the Conscious Life Expo, we're going to be there. It's going to be our third year, and we're super excited about it. And Jamelin has just agreed live here on this YouTube video to be a part of this space. So we have a great team. I believe we're at 11 this year, but we added to the space. So we have even more booth space, and we're just growing. Every year we do the Acasma Quantum Energy sessions at the booth. They're an expo type version, but the team members are trained how to facilitate this version of the space and be this space, and they are phenomenal at it. We have people activating light language on the spot, crying with joy,
Mm.
experiencing bliss. And I mean, the feedback some of these people are sharing is just mind blowing. Like downloads, expansive energy coming in to feel as if they walk into the booth at one state of knowing and they walk out of the booth in a totally different alignment of themselves. Yes. Yeah, it's phenomenal. We have
Mhm.
a really big workshop this year that we're doing, and we're also doing two lectures. So last year it was one lecture and a workshop, and this year it's going to be two lectures and a workshop. So I'm excited about that. All the info will be available on Sacred Expansion very shortly, and the team will be updated. I just got all the clarification done with everyone to make sure who's going to be on for 2026. So if you're interested in more information on Jamelin, her information will be on the website as well now that she has officially let me know that I think is just a joke and she's in. So I never know with this one. She's a wild child. She's all over the place in the best way, in the best way. She brings so much vibrant joy to my life.
Yes. Couldn't have said it any better. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And join summer camp because you're doing you yourself as a camp counselor also. You're a leader of the whole thing, but then you're the counselor for a Cosmo yogic practice, yes.
Hmm.
And
The
then
Acasma Flow
you
Yoga. Mhm.
Cosmo Flow yoga, yes. And then the writing workshop before Acasma and after Acasma. And you're also going to help us with the arts and crafts area of making the friendship bracelet. Did I name them all? Those are your
Yes.
spaces? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So those are the spaces Jamelin will be assisting us with as a camp counselor. And also we have a Discord server chat space for the camp as well. So if you're like not into the grid or into the pods we spoke of, but you're like camp sounds fun, then when you go and you sign up on the Patreon platform as a free member, you get into the camp, and then you're going to get all the information on how to get into the chat, and so that's fun too. It's we have a lot of fun, don't we? Have a lot of
We
fun.
do.
We
We
do.
do. And I don't want anyone to stress about where they are on the planet if their availability lines up with when we are actually holding our camp
Mhm,
because it's all recorded. And so you
mhm.
get the chance to experience it, over and over again or when it is most optimal for you. So
That's an
nothing should
important
hold you
point.
back.
Yeah, that's an
Yes.
important point. Whether it's just schedule in general or time
Hmm.
zones, we
Yes.
video all the spaces and then it's all in a portal, like a beautiful portal that's on my website that you get a password to get into. And then you can go in and out as many times as you want, 24/7 access, and you can go back to things. So say you really love the writing workshop and you can watch it 5 times. Or
Yeah.
the drumming workshop or whatever it is.
Hmm.
You can go in and out of there. Oh, also you had some cool ideas for like additional content in the portal. So we have like my favorite 80s songs. You inspired me to create that. So we did a Spotify playlist with the songs I love from the 80s. And so that's in there. You can connect in with that. You want to know the songs I love, still listen to them every day. There's also some printables in there, some coloring pages. I mean, it is fun. It really is. It's fun. So, yeah, 7/7. If you want to know when you're going to have access to that, July 7th, the portal opens. Ooh, 7/7 portal. Do you see it? Do you hear it? I love it. So, all
And
right, that
25, the year 25, 5 and 2 makes 7.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love it. So that was a good point to bring in time zones and schedules. No worries. You can do this thing and have some fun in your way when it works for you.
I guess this is my question to you. So, what are your goals for your business over the next year or 2 or 3?
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. To continue to meet the world. Yes. Right where it's at. Yes. And be available without hesitation to
Mhm.
open any door and walk through it wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, in whatever way it evolves. Does that make sense?
Mhm. You are the real deal because you literally just said from true authenticity and off the cuff that to lean in and trust yourself, right?
Yes.
To
I,
find
I, I never ask you to do what I'm not doing myself.
That's right. But that is a fair statement though. I mean, with the Cosmo, what you see is what you get. I
Mhm,
think that is important because
mhm,
whether it's the pods and the dialogue and exchanges going on in Discord, or whether it's the teachings and the implementations and the opportunities to embody and expand, you absolutely are always giving us those stories of how it relates to your life and how you had that implementation moment where you had a conscious choice to make. Who were you going to be in that moment? How were you going to show up? So it is absolutely authentic through and through. And it's like Cosma, there is the more it expands, the more is available for you to expand.
mhm,
Or like that cliche, the more that you know, the more you realize you have to learn. Like, wow, it's like exponential. So I really I appreciate that about you. It's so true to your core and to a cosmic quantum energy, and that's why I think it feels so cozy and home like. I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I feel at home. I feel surrounded by my people, my tribe, you know,
I love that.
others.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Authenticity is very important to me. And it's what I believe is the true alignment of essence and purpose and passion and complete union, if you will, with your
Mhm.
optimal flow when we allow the authenticity and we live as it and from it and we can I'm this is my own personal opinion, we can joke around with it, like, because sometimes I will say funny things about how I be me, what I do in my own world, and I know that I'm not the average, but neither is my life, and neither is that which is uh, blessing my life. It's all extraordinary. It's beyond the ordinary. So why would I be ordinary? Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm glad you mentioned beyond the average, because when I was committed to the destination event in Destin, I had this. little bit of fear that I was going to be surrounded by these
Mhm.
individuals whose energy, you know, was so big and so deep and so, I don't know, just they have refined it, right, so well that I was going to be like odd man out. And I wasn't, you know, like, which one of these doesn't belong? It was going to be me. And I was
One of these things is not
things
like
it's not
the
like
other.
the other. Yes.
I remember
You
that song.
remember that, right? Okay. So I was afraid of that. And then I think there was also some fear, for example, like with you and Quantum Kate and Kirsten, our two pod leaders, and you, there is this initial like intimidation factor because you have been practicing a
Mm.
cosmic quantum energy. You have been embodying it for 6 years. And so here I come, brand newbie. And what resonates to me is, you know, not necessarily what resonates to you. And will I fit in? Like, will that be okay if we're all at these different stages of our implementation and expansion? And it's perfect for that. That is actually what gives us the whole full circle experience of it, which I love. So I'm glad you mentioned that because there is nothing average about our Cosma family. And it is beautiful, beautiful.
And when you came into that space, were you right, or did you find it to be, like you said, you felt like we were going to be bigger than life, or like the energy would, would be intimidating? Were you
Yes.
intimidated, or did
Oh,
you?
no,
Okay, yeah, share
no.
that part about it.
Yeah, like I literally lost sleep over it. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm sure I could cancel, right? Do I have to show up? I mean, there was this like tug of war in my mind. Like, I don't know if I can be that space with them. And this is all so like traditional for when we're coming into something like a cosmic quantum energy and we can see how it has helped others and we want the same for ourselves, but yet we hold ourselves to this
Yes.
imaginary standard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah, all
we
the
have
time.
to be, do, understand, implement at a certain level.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, we can't keep up or something like that. And so, yes, there was a moment where I was like, I don't know if I can show up. I don't know. And even on the drive there, I had this long drive there. And I'm like, don't turn the car around. Don't turn the car around. You're fine. You'll be fine. So it was instant from the moment we all met for our very first time downstairs in the lobby. Ah, just hugs and love. And oh my gosh, and meeting these beautiful humans in person that I've known for, you know, less than a year, but still it feels like forever online on Discord from all of our exchanges. It was like, oh my God, you're real. You are real. And
That's
especially you, I had to like poke, poke, poke. Are you real? So yes.
so that's huge though, because the norm is to say, yeah, yeah, of course it's can happen for everybody else, but it, doesn't mean it's going to happen for me. Like that's a
Mhm.
norm thing, is to be like, but maybe I won't be able to speak light language, or maybe I won't be able to understand the higher consciousness spaces, or maybe I won't be able to do the energy space, or whatever it is. But we do that in all areas, right? For whatever reason. I believe it's one has to do with pattern cycles of belief that we've just got used to playing. We got used to putting that record on the record player and dancing to that song. But then I also believe that it's actually a really beautiful blessing, because it's a propellant, or prodding forward for us, that we're sending ourselves to say, step through this door, move through this fear, because you're ready for the next space of you. And in order to get to that next space, you have to acknowledge and confirm that you're leaving the old one.
Yes.
So when you
Yes.
were driving, and a part of you was like, I'm going to turn the car around, and another part of you was like, don't turn the car around, go, you've got this, everything's great, get out of your head, get into your heart, you were acknowledging the notification, and you were replying, I'm allowing me. Yes. I'm trusting me. Yes. And I'm moving into the next space of me. And that was huge. I mean, it is huge. And now you also had a funny but reality place space of this where your family member said that, is this a cult? Are you safe? Like, who goes and meets people off the internet all by themselves to like at a hotel?
It sounded a little sus, right?
So fun. So, all right. So, like, that was even a part of it, right? Like, having to
Mhm.
navigate being able to validate and be there for the concerns of the family, but also not give in to those fears and let them become yours and trust that you were moving in a direction that was beneficial. And I'm guessing you had I think you said, like they even like researched us a little bit to make sure that their loved one wasn't headed into a space of harm. So that's good. I mean, like, and mine's the reverse. I said this to you guys because we were talking about this at a event space, but mine's the reverse. My family's like, who are you going? You're going to go be with some group? Like, who is this? Who are these people? And then I will tell them my family, my husband, my kids about who I'm meeting, and I just talk nicely, like, oh, this one, they're so sweet. They come to this class and they come to this grid and they come to this, they're in this pod, whatever. So yeah, it's funny that it's on both sides, right? It's in all the spaces. But I find for me personally, it's easy for me uh to navigate answering the questions and holding the line for the members that are navigating it in their own way as well. It's easy for me because I am so anchored in my heart. My heart is listening. My heart is sensing. My heart is feeling. And it's like my heart and my authenticity show me, in a sense, and help me feel from, in a sense, the other side of it all. So, like the space that's already, I'm saying goodbye to everybody after the event. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's like there's this comfort in it's so beautiful. All the spaces are so beautiful. And even some of the spaces can be not be what I thought they were going to be, right? I can go through some of the spaces and there can be some hiccups or some things I didn't see coming, but there's that anchored space of me coming from my heart that's registering it that allows me to do so from my wholeness, which allows me to interpret in that alignment of love. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I think
And
if I
that,
was in the head, no, you're awesome. I'm cutting you off. I apologize. But I think if I was in the head, I would be in the fear. And I would be like, what if this person's a wacko? And what if that person's a difficult? And what if and that would be so much, uh, yeah, alignment and creation of those realities because they could be there, they could exist, right? But the focus is always coming from my heart of the other side of it, from the space of it was beautiful. So I do think we're stepping into, all of us from every aspect of this, whether you're joining a chat or whether you're coming to an event or you're joining a course or however you're connecting deeper and being more present with yourself and with the spaces, we're all navigating with the opportunity to do so from our hearts, less than our head.
yeah, and that fear you talked about is from our head, right? I mean, that's how we survive. But one thing Acasma is very consistent with is that knowing we are safe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are always safe. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I am going into a situation, we'll call it a familiar space of mine, where maybe the energies were dense or not, I kind of predicted in my mind how this is going to go. And so say I was going to be approaching this situation differently in the future. So I was going to try to release some of that fear, knowing it doesn't serve, but only just to tell a story, which is 1 billion stories that could be told, right? So
Oh,
it's
I
just
love
one time,
that. That's
right?
gold right there.
But knowing that it tells a story, but also to allow me to show up with whatever new tools or new approaches or new ways of being I have learned through AQE. So some of it is, deliberate, like I'm focused on how I'm responding. It's no different than when like you first drive a car, right? You first get behind the wheel, like you're like, okay, push this, seatbelt on, da, 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 and like left, right, are we clear? Like, so it becomes, more fluid and stuff. But I think another thing that you said that I've always found out is that what shows up is something even more than I could have imagined. And that even more, again, could be a billion different descriptions of even more. But the fact that it is always even more is so beautiful. And it's like just basking in the glow of trust, knowing that I am safe, knowing that I am whole, knowing that I am surrounded by love, knowing that I am love, knowing that I want to be love. That is glorious. So I don't know. It's like choose your own ending on this, folks. How do you want it to go?
I love that.
You know?
Choose your own ending. Didn't we
Yeah.
talk about that with the books when we were
Yes.
kids? They used
Choose
to
your own
have,
ending.
if you want it to be this, go to page 33. And if you want it to be this, go to page whatever. And you would choose your ending. And how neat that you can even be in a space you think, is pretty written, right? Maybe you chose page 33 and you're 4 pages into that ending. Doesn't mean you can't go choose a different one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's what we are all about. That's what we're about. That's some pretty cool stuff to be about, right?
It is. And it's hard to convey that
Yes.
in
People say, what are you doing? What is going on? What is this? What is Acasma? It's like,
oh my God. I
please
mean,
feel into it. Feel into it. If people will
yeah,
feel into it, it's easier for you to understand what we're talking about. And then just if you're able to allow space and trust yourself more and more, it starts to land.
it does. And it really does land and expand because when I first started listening to you, I you sounded like Yoda to me. And I do or not to do or try or not try. I don't know. I was like, she's putting verbs or she's using that as a verb. And I don't think that's a verb, but that's
She's
fine. Let's roll with
using
it.
that as
Let's
a verb. Oh my God, I love it. I know. Do you know how many times autocorrect it gets mad at me? I can't even use Grammarly because it's like really upset by
oh,
me.
you would blow it up. Yeah, it doesn't make
So,
sense.
um, yeah, no, I get it. Like, so now you read it and it's a little different, or
Oh, it's so vastly different. And it's even different than it was last week because I'm in a different place and understanding that in of itself is like the ride that never ends. Seriously, like the adventure that never ends. It's like this is amazing. It just keeps on giving and giving and giving. But yeah, like there was a moment in time where I even got your book. So I found you on YouTube for the monthly grid in May of 24. Then I got deep into your videos on YouTube. So the next thing I did was order your book, one of your books. And I'm reading your book. And I'm like, I don't understand what she's saying. I'm like, I love to read. I'm a voracious reader. Why can I not comprehend this sentence? And it was because at that moment, my human mind was trying to put it in a box of this is what she's trying to say, or this is what she means, versus being open to a completely new experience of it. And yeah, there was a moment where I was like, I'm going to need a translator for the book. I'm going online. Is there, how people write books about books? Like, has someone written a
maybe
book
you
about
should do that. We've talked
it?
about
Right?
you writing a book.
Yes, I'm telling you,
You're a
I've got to do it.
fantastic translator now. I mean, you've engaged these spaces and you do have a way of conveyance that is very clear. I try. My daughter, God bless, she says to me, Mom, do you have like layman's terms for this? Do you have like another way you could say this? And I do try. I really do. But I think you'll agree, and I think you probably would add this in if I didn't say it first. I believe the way I say it holds an energetic alignment that when people hear it, even if the mind can't understand it, the being, the consciousness registers what I'm saying energetically, and it activates some type of remembrance in the individual that then the mind can begin to reset with the heart and understand.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Now that I understand it at the level that I do, I wouldn't have you say it any other way. And
Okay.
I also think those moments, though, of you catching me off guard because you were phrasing something in such a unique way, it got me out of my routine. You're like,
Mm,
hey, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Versus,
Yeah.
causing a different sort of dialogue to get out of our autopilot, if you
Yes.
will. So,
It forces presence. You
yes,
got to be
yes,
really there. You almost have to be like, okay, wait a minute, what? And then be like, okay,
yeah.
focus.
You got to read the same paragraph over and over. But now, today that I know what I know, it is the energy, and it is that. I mean, it is packaged in precisely that way. But I, I still think that there's something we want to like make it easy for us, and that's the human side of our current experience, right? Wanting to get out any obstacles, make it easy for me. And part of this entire journey is the learning and expanding at whatever pace we're ready for. And
Hmm.
that to me is where the magic happens. That's where it all is. Like there was a time when I wanted my light language, I wanted to remember my light language so badly, right? Like somebody's got to magically, you know, I don't know, maybe wave a magic wand over my head, and then suddenly I can speak it and sing it and shout it up from all the rooftops. But I'm now learning my capacity to channel that is more what's getting in the way, right? My stories of what I'm telling about myself, like, oh, I'm not as authentic as Andrea is, or I'm not as, well versed at this as Andrea is. And wow, yet it, all of these things. And so it's like, I don't know. It's the journey and what I'm learning about myself. Like I really thought I would probably dig into AQE, cosmic quantum energy, as a way to help me deal with others in my life. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like
And it
how was I
does. It
gonna?
is that. Yeah,
It
it is
does.
available. Absolutely.
Done and done. Yes, profoundly so. But what I'm learning about myself, like I wasn't ready for. And I don't know that I would have dug in had I known that was waiting for me,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to go too deep in there. Whew, that's
Yeah.
a black hole. Like,
Yeah. Deal with
so
everybody else. Yeah. But the way
yes,
you
like,
deal with everybody else is by dealing with you.
and that's what I think is so, it is so profound. And the lessons are learned at our pace, whatever we're ready for, because that is literally what we are doing is we are looking at these layers of ourself or these experiences of ourself and what kind of range or spectrum do we have and how can we show up or be different if we choose to, and if we don't choose to be different, that is 100% okay too.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
permission to be exactly where I'm at today.
Hmm.
Yes, please, I will take that. And so it's that whole process. It can't be described. I can't describe. It's all there. Just trust. And if you're ready, you will, and you will lean in and listen when you're
I love
ready.
that.
It's okay.
I love
Yeah.
that. And a lot of people, when they first come into the course, because it's run once a year with me, beginning of
Yes.
every year, and it is this year we did it different. We ran it from January to May, which was a much longer space, but I just knew we were marinating and steeping these higher spaces of consciousness in a really important way, and we needed to have that space to have more time. So I probably will do it again because I think it worked really well. But the people that come in brand new, they invest in the course space, they get that 5 months or whatever it is. But then I leave the portal on my website with all of the content, and you have 24/7 full access for the remainder of the year. And I do expansion classes once a month. But what gets me, my heart, I love it. I'm blessed by it greatly, is so many people will say that they didn't give up on themselves and they didn't give up on what was available. even though they felt like, I don't understand, I can't completely wrap my head around this one part or this space, but they push through, they show up, they keep doing it. And even if they fall out of alignment a little bit, maybe life gets in the way here and there and they miss some classes, they come back. It calls you back. You call you back. And they continue to connect with the material. And then they'll come back the next year. Most people do, not all. And there's a return student discount, which is huge. And they come back in as a return student. And we had Anna speak this year at the graduation. She was a return student second time through. And she said it was like taking a different course because she understood it from that new space of her. And you're registering and interpreting very differently as you're expanding. And I have people in there that have been in here for 6 years and they're grandmasters and they can teach it themselves, but they come back because that's the other thing is it's always expanding itself. Just as we are, it is. So the classes, even when I'm talking, I'm bringing it in at the core, but then I'm expanding to where we're ready to understand ourselves beyond that core even. So it's not cookie cutter in the sense that if you came and you come back, it's the same exact thing. The same is there and you can hear it in a new way, but then there's even more, which you said earlier so beautifully. There's always even more.
but
It's
but
amazing.
how our vibration is always new, after we experience um something together, whether it's the grid, the monthly grid of light, or a
Mhm.
particular class or an activation or something, how it's like always new. I am a new AQE grad, if you will, from the most recent group, and I still go back into the portal and I listen to classes that I've already heard, sometimes more than once, that I've already taken notes on, and I am understanding new insights
I love
that
it.
weren't available to me X number of months ago, but that are so like right there and present now. So
Mm.
it's infinite. It's a continual expansion process, and that's, like I said, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. So it just keeps going. It's really mind-bogglingly beautiful.
I love that you're giving yourself the gift. That's what I
Mm,
always tell people is get as much out of that thing as you can. Like get back in there, even if it's on in the background while you cleaning up the house or driving to work or whatever's going on in life, just like giving yourself the opportunity to meet yourself there again and come in at that next space. So I love that you're doing that. That's so powerful. All right, so let's see. We've talked about a lot of beautiful spaces. Did we leave anything out that would be beneficial to share with the world?
don't overthink it. Don't
Exactly. I love that.
overanalyze it. Don't get in
Yes.
your head about it. Don't try to make it fit some equation or some experience, or there is no logic to it, and that is the from our heart.
Yes.
So it's not, it won't make sense, but then that's how you know you're on track.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. It won't make sense, but that's how you know you're on track. And really, honestly, that's a really cool way of looking at it because if it, doesn't make sense at a certain point, I think that's the threshold.
Yes.
Walking through the door, it's that kind of moment where you're like, this is new. Wait, what? So a signpost, if you will, that you're stepping into the next space of you.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love that. All right, this has been amazing. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
You're so awesome. You've brought nothing
Thank
but
you.
vibrant joy and beauty to this space. From the very first moment you made a comment on something and then showed up in a Zoom and came onto a space of connection in person. However, we've, uh, yeah, engaged one another, it has been nothing but joy. Isn't that part of your name on Discord? Joyful Jamelin or something?
Yeah. Yes.
I just thought about that. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, at least you know yourself. You know that know thyself, right? And
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
another cool thing. We say that the pods are a fantastic way to live out the act as if, right? Because the
Yes.
actions are putting it into motion, right? And you're designing it all. So look at you. You wrote your script and you named your character so well for the joyful life of Jamelin. Yes?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
All
Yep.
right. Huge shout out again to Beacons. We love you all. We're going to put this into the chat. So I'm going to at everyone and tell them your fellow Beacon is in this video. That's always fun. I'm sure they'll all be so excited to be this space with you. Thank you for being it with me and letting me share it with the world. I'm grateful you're here. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we love all those who are connecting in and finding this space. Thank you for remembering who you are, and thank you for allowing your flow.
Thank you. Thank you for being
Mm.
here. Thank you for waiting for me.
Oh, thank you for finding
Um,
me. All
oh, that's
right.
so sappy. Okay. Love you. Bye.